Hi guys, it's Kino. Welcome to another video. I am so excited for today's reading topic. It is something that I've never done before, and this was actually suggested to me on Patreon. It was a very popular request, and the person who suggested it mentioned that other readers have done this as well. So thank you very much to that person for bringing this to my attention. It is such a cool topic. Basically, it is a bag draw reading. So we're gonna pull your reading topic from a bag after you have chosen your pile, and then we'll find out what your reading is going to be about. Last night, I wrote down as many different kind of topics as I could think of, and I ended up with 51. So I have no idea what your reading is going to be, and I put all of the papers in this hat. This is ASO's merch, by the way. I love this hat, and yeah, they're all inside here. And so once you pick your pile, we will draw one paper from here, and then we'll go from there. So I also have no idea like what the format of your reading is going to be, but we're going to pull tarot cards and we're going to pull oracle cards. So that's why you see two different cards for each option, because one is a tarot deck and one is an oracle deck. So with that being said, when you're choosing your group, I'm just going to show the back, like the back artwork here. So you could be drawn to the tarot, the oracle, the crystal. There's a few different factors to help you choose. If you are drawn to more than one, you can absolutely watch more than one reading today, because that's likely a sign that spirit has multiple things that they would like to talk to you about. But without further ado, let's give you a close-up look at each of your options. Group number ones, you have this Mookaite Jasper. And then for the decks, we're going to be using the Crow Tarot and the Majoco Majolica Oracle. Number twos, you have this Opalite. And for your decks, we're going to be using the Blissful Dolphin Tarot and the Rabbit Magic card for Happy Love. Number threes, you have this Citrine. And for your decks, we're going to be using the Thoth Tarot and the Galactic Heritage Oracle. And number fours, you have this Mangano Calcite. And for your decks, we're going to be using the Kawaii Tarot and the Astral Realms Crystal Oracle. Okay, so as always, take all the time you need to pick. You can pause the video if you need to. I'm going to go ahead and get started with number one. Hi, number ones. So if you guys chose the Mookaite Jasper, this is going to be your reading. So the first thing we need to do is find out what spirit would like to talk to you about today. So we're going to go ahead and pull your topic from this hat. Spirit, what would you like to talk to group number one about today? Okay, so we have for you a channeled message. So my intention with this one is that we will first find out whom this channeled message is from. So there's someone who would like to speak to you. If this sounds like a topic you are interested in hearing about, then keep watching. If not, you might want to try another group, but we are going to get into it. So let's see who this channeled message is going to be from. Who has a message for my group number ones? Who is coming forward to say something to my group number ones? Okay, so we have the Ace of Pentacles, the Hermit, and the Six of Swords. All right, so What I can say from the Ace of Pentacles, this is definitely a sign that this is a channeled message from a human. So this is someone who is incarnate here on this earth, with the Suit of Pentacles being related to the element of earth and having to do with the physical and tangible reality. This is very much giving the sign of an incarnate person. I would also say that this is someone you have met in the 3D. So this is someone who is in your life or who has been in your life. With the Hermit here, this could be indicating that this person is a Virgo or has Virgo placements. They could have Aquarius placements as well with the Six of Swords. But the first thing that came to my mind with the Hermit is that perhaps, at least in the 3D, you have not been talking so much. This person could be in a hermit mode, like they're more in a reserved energy right now, or they're at a distance from you. Even with the Six of Swords that can talk about moving on, this could be someone with whom, like, the two of you have kind of gone your separate ways, or even if it wasn't an official parting, so to speak, it could just be that you don't talk that much anymore. It could also be that you are in a hermit mode, like you have been reserved and not really reaching out to this person. But one or both of you could also be kind of on a journey of soul searching right now, or a journey of healing. It is giving the feeling of not having seen each other. Again, at least in the 3D, you may see each other a lot in dreams. Your higher selves may communicate frequently, but I don't think you've seen each other in the 3D for quite some time. And if you are in communication, I would say that the communication, like, is friendly. I don't feel like there's any hard feelings with this person. There could be a sense that, oh, we've drifted apart a little bit. Maybe there's even a sense like maybe you were close or intimate with this person at one point. I just mean like you had an intimate relationship with them at some point in the past, but not so much these days. So it's like if you were in communication, it might be minimal. And of course, like, you're nice to each other and you show that you care about each other, but it's just not as frequent as before, or like not as intimate as before. And probably this is coming up because even though you may not be so active in each other's 3D lives anymore, I do think that this person is thinking about you a lot, and maybe wishes that you did talk more, or wishes that they had the courage to reach out to you more, but they could be a little bit shy, or they could feel a little awkward at this time. I feel like both of you have gone through a lot of individual growth since you've last been close with each other. I don't know why that was so hard for me to say. Like, you've both been through a lot of individual growth, and so there may be a little bit of like but if we came back together, would the dynamic be the same? Because I feel like we're both so different now, but I still really care about them. At this point, I'm not really picking up on whether this is romantic or platonic. Maybe we'll find that out later. Could even be a family member, or it just could be not coming through because it's different for everyone who chose this group. But yeah, so it's a human. It is an incarnate human who has a message for you. Let's see what they want to say to you. What does this person want to say to group number 1? Let's get messages from their 3D self and from their higher self. What would this person's 3D self say to group number 1? The 8 of Wands, the 9 of Cups, interesting, and the Empress. Okay, so this person loves you or has a lot of love for you or cares about you very, very deeply with the Empress card here. And I do think that this person heavily admires you. And again, it's actually still not really coming through if they love and admire you in a romantic way or a platonic way. But I think it could just be because this is a general reading and your dynamic with this person could be different, like from person to person who is watching this. But the point is that they have a lot of love for you and they care about you very, very deeply. And they have immense gratitude for you. So they feel that you have been very kind to them and you've also been very generous towards them. This could be how they perceive you in general, or there could have been a particular point where they were really in a low place and you helped them out very, very generously, through sharing resources or through providing emotional support, or maybe both. It's coming through that they have a lot of gratitude to you and they would credit you for a lot of their healing and for a lot of their growth and for where they're at in their life right now. For some of you, it could also be that you have been a great inspiration for this person. I think with the Empress and the Ace of Pentacles, they look up to you as someone who is very successful and who really knows who they are and who is really kind of doing life right, is the way it's coming through, or living their best life. They just have a lot of admiration for you. With the Eight of Wands here, it is definitely coming through that this person has a strong desire to communicate to you. Obviously, they're communicating to you through these channeled messages, and I do think their higher self communicates to you, but their 3D self is expressing a strong desire to reach out. And I actually think that this Eight of Wands is suggesting that they will be reaching out to you in the near future. Maybe that's actually what they came forward today to tell you. Like they're letting you know, you're going to hear from me soon. Like my 3D self, I'm going to reach out to you soon. And then with the Nine of Cups here, an interesting message came through. I wanted to note that this Nine of Cups crow is standing here on all their cups, and the communication is coming from this way. I think that this represents your person, and they're letting you know that they are going to reach out to you once they feel that they are in a good place in life. Once they reach a place where they're like, you know what, I have good things going for me. I'm in a good place right now. I'm proud of myself. I feel like I'm doing well. That's when they're going to reach out to you. And I think it's kind of a combination of things, like when their career is going well, when their mental health is good, when they kind of holistically look at their whole life and they're like, yeah, I'm doing well. And that kind of leads me to wonder if the reason that they haven't reached out, the reason that they haven't reached out yet is because there was a little bit of insecurity, because they admire you so much and they feel like you're doing so well that they felt a little bit insecure with where their life was at. And I really want to emphasize here, this is not because of like they think that you're someone who would judge them. I think it's just kind of a projection of their own insecurity. So just to give an example, again, I feel like for every person who's watching this, you might have a different type of relationship with this person, whether it's romantic, platonic, family. But just for this example, so that you can kind of understand the energy more, it's like if there were best friends, like they were best friends in high school, they were best friends in college, and then once they graduated college, they just kind of drifted apart. Maybe they were living far away. They just kind of went their own ways. And it's not like they had a huge fight and a huge falling out, but life just kind of made them grow in different directions. And then the way they see it is that you went off to become super successful and like you're living a really cool life and doing really cool things. And I just want to point out here, like that could very well be true, but we're just looking at this person's subjective opinion. And I just want to say, sometimes you would be surprised what people are envious of, you know? Like, maybe you're listening to this and you're like, yeah, you know what? I do live a really cool life. I am really successful. But some of you might be listening to this message and you're like, what? Like, I don't think I'm living a super cool life. But you just never know what someone else's criteria is for living a cool life. Do you know what I mean? Like, let's say you move to another country, but you feel like your job is shit. It doesn't matter. That other person might still be looking at you and being like, oh my gosh, they're so cool. They have such a cool job and it's so cool that they moved to another country. So even if, I guess what I want to say is how you may judge your own life by your standards, how they subjectively see it could be quite different. So whether you personally feel like, yeah, my life is awesome, which I hope that you do, because you should celebrate your life and you should be proud of yourself. But even if you don't feel that way, they are, regardless, they are still looking at your life and being like, oh my gosh, group number one is so cool. Group number one grew into such an amazing person. And kind of feeling like they fell short. They fell behind. By whatever metrics they're using, they feel like they have fallen short from you, that they can't compare to you, that maybe you have grown sort of like out of their league, so to speak. And so, you know, these friends who have graduated, maybe a couple of years have gone by and they're like, I miss them, I want to reach out to them again, but there's almost... The way it was coming through was kind of feeling like a loser, but I think that that's more of an intrusive thought on their end more than anything else. I don't think they believe that about themselves deep down, but I do think it's just like an insecurity or an intrusive thought that sabotages them from reaching out to you. Because I guess they play out this scenario where you reconnect and reunite and start talking about like what you're doing with your life now. And it's, I don't know, it's like they feel embarrassed to talk about what they're doing with their life because it's not, they see it as like not as important or as impressive or as cool or as successful as what you're doing. And also they might feel kind of like maybe you've changed a lot or they've changed a lot, and they're just kind of nervous about how it would go if they were to reach out to you or if you were to connect again. And even to use myself as an example, like I reached out to a friend that I hadn't spoken to in years, and we just, you know, again, it wasn't a falling out. We just kind of stopped talking. And even reaching out to them, it's nervous because you're like, I don't even know, like, does this person still want to hang out? Like, do they also fondly look back on the times we hung out? Like, it's just kind of a nerves thing, you know? Maybe it's an anxiety thing. I'm not sure, but that's kind of where they're at. And so it's coming through that they would reach out when they feel like they're doing well. Again, like by whatever metrics they're using, because it's really subjective. Maybe it's that they got a better job that they're really proud of now. Maybe it's that they're doing well financially. Maybe it's that they got married. Maybe and they have a family. Maybe it's that they got their own place. Maybe it's that they've been really working on their healing. And it could be a combination of all of those things. But, you know, if they're this crow, it's like when they can stand on all their cups and be like, look at what I have. I'm content with what I have. I'm happy. I'm in a good place. Then they can feel confident to reach out to you. So yeah, there might be a little bit of envy from their part, which envy is not inherently a bad thing. I think envy is only bad when you are not honest about it and you let it subconsciously control you and do bitter things. But yeah, there's a bit of envy there, I think. So let's get a message from their higher self. what would this person's higher self want to tell you? We have the Ace of Wands. Yeah, their higher self is definitely talking to you, and their higher self is a really big motivator and supporter for you. It feels like they're always... Doorbell ringing is totally confirmation of their higher self visiting you. Guys, an oracle deck arrived as I'm filming your reading. On this channel, it is customary that, well, it doesn't happen that often, but if an oracle deck arrives while I'm filming a group's reading, we must use that deck in the reading. So I think after we do the oracle deck that you chose, we will pull a few from this new deck. I'm so excited. I love this artist so much. Okay, so pulling more cards for your person's higher self. Oh, the Knight of Wands and the Nine of Wands. Okay, there is a ton of fire going on, and yeah, all of them. Especially Sagittarius energy is coming through. Sagittarius moon, Sagittarius Mercury could be significant, but the Knight of Wands is so sweet because to me, this card has a personal interpretation of a spirit guide who is very friendly with you, or a spirit guide who interacts with you in who interacts with you in the same way that a friend would, like a guide who is your friend. And so it's just really sweet to know that this person's higher self is guiding you and has so much love for you. And the Knight of Wands feels very cheerful. Like they guide you in a way that is friendly, that is positive. To me as well, the Knight of Wands is a guide who has a really great sense of humor. So the way their higher self communicates to you is very funny. They might use inside jokes with you as well. And this also makes me think that you and this person in the 3D maybe shared a sense of humor. Okay, this is a very specific message. I don't know if it's going to resonate for everyone, but there may be things like when you were closer in the 3D, you maybe had a really silly shared sense of humor and specific inside jokes. And now that some time has passed, you or them or both of you may be wondering, like, would they still find those jokes funny? Because like I still want to tell those jokes with them and I still want to laugh about the same silly stuff that we did before. But I feel this nervousness of like, if I use that inside joke from those years ago, are they going to think it's dumb now? Are they going to be like, oh, come on, we've grown past that? But I don't think so. I think you still share that humor, and I think you could still bond over humor. You still have your playfulness to you. You still have your childlikeness to you. So yeah, it was probably a bit... This doesn't seem like one of those situations where it's like we've been no contact for a month. It feels like it's been significantly longer than that there's been maturation that is happening on both of your sides. And so there's this kind of wariness of like, can we still have fun and be childlike and play and joke around the same way that we did before? Or do we have to be all like put together and responsible now? And I think that kind of creates a shyness or a nervousness. But when your higher selves interact, it's very fun and very unserious, and just like it's all love, and their higher self is really here to motivate you and to make you believe in yourself and to make you feel good about yourself. Their 3D self admires the heck out of you and their higher self admires the heck out of you, but their higher self just wants you to shine brighter and brighter and brighter and support you. I think their human self is dealing with a little bit of envy, but it's really important to note that in no way for them does this envy translate to like bitterness. It's just a bit more of like, oh, group number 1 is so cool and awesome, and I wish I could be more like them. And your person is so cool and awesome. And I think their higher self is helping them to realize that. But yeah, your higher selves definitely just have an amazing friendship. And this is so sweet too, because I feel like this is their higher self saying, I'm not going to give up on you. like, it may seem like we have parted ways, but we really haven't. And I'm not going to give up on us. I want our human selves to realize that the barriers between us only exist in our minds. And reaching out can be and should be a simple thing and a natural thing. But you know, our minds just create all of these barriers of like, oh, they're gonna think this or that about me. And it's like, have we forgotten how special our bond is? Like, we would never. And I'm getting a bit emotional because it's like their higher self is saying past us would be sad if they knew our current dynamic. And again, it's giving that feeling of like high school, college best friends who are like, I love you, we're gonna be together forever, or we're gonna be friends forever, or whatever it is. If those past versions knew that there would be any sort of like awkwardness or distance between you, I feel like they would be like, what? No, like, that's a lie. That's fake. What do you mean? So yeah, but just know their higher self has a lot of love for you and is always supporting you, always wants you to be more and more confident and believe in yourself more and more. And I think they want you to be free, and they don't want the world to put you in a box, and they don't want you to dim your light. So they're always there cheering you on. That's so sweet. So let's pull some cards from the Oracle deck that you chose. What else should group number 1 know about this situation? We have face yourself, confusion, oh, true love, and on the right path. Oh my gosh, that is so sweet. Yeah, it's like, I feel like this face yourself is really talking about healing and reaching a good place within yourself, because it's these insecurities or not being in a good place with yourself and not just loving and accepting yourself for who you are that is causing this confusion. Because the truth of this relationship is that it is true love, and I really feel like you both still have so much love for each other. But sometimes when you have insecurities, you don't, like, that love gets distorted and you don't properly receive it. Like, someone could be so loving towards you and so kind towards you, but if you're insecure, your mind might tell you things like, oh, they don't really mean it, or it's only a matter of time until they change their mind, or they only love me because they don't see the real me. If they saw the real me, they wouldn't feel that way. Like, your insecurity will do anything to reject the love that is coming your way. And maybe this is just happening on your person's end, maybe it's happening for both of you, but it's like not being in a good place within oneself is what is causing the confusion and is maybe causing this true love to be distorted. But I really like this, like, on the right path. It's like this is the path that you should be going down. So I think that both of you are on a path to healing, are on a path to really feeling good about yourself and not judging yourself, and recognizing that you are inherently lovable and you are inherently valuable. And if anyone were to judge you for where your life is at, it would not be each other. It would not. It would be some random stranger whose opinion doesn't matter. But when you truly love each other and when you truly love yourself, you don't judge others for that kind of worldly stuff or for any challenges that they're going through or where they're at in their journey. Like, we know that everyone's journey is different and everyone's journey is unique and everyone is exactly where they're meant to be. But again, insecurity can distort that. And so you start to think, oh my gosh, like, does this person think I'm a loser? No, they love you. They love you so much. They don't even think about the criteria that you use to judge yourself. They don't even see the flaws that you perceive you have. I wonder if this is a little bit mutual, but I think you're both on the right path. And this looks really interesting because it looks like they're following them and they're about to approach them. They could be like following your social media. Like maybe they haven't been following you, like you made a new account and they're gonna follow you, or they're gonna DM you or something like that. That's kind of the vibe that I'm getting. And at the bottom of the deck, we have the red thread of fate. So I do think you meeting each other was definitely fated. I think that your souls are friends. Like you definitely chose to meet each other in this lifetime. So, okay, let's just get a couple cards from the deck that arrived. Ooh, I'm just looking through the guidebook. So I'm so excited. Thank you, by the way, for helping me initiate this deck into the collection. And thank you, deck, for being here. We're happy to have you. What else does group number 1 need to know? Imagination and reality are scheduled to be inverted. Good, just been looking at screens a lot. Why is this me? So let's go into the guidebook. I'm like, obviously this is my first time going through everything. Okay, so I found this one. You may need to take a break from computers. Go find a tree to be friends with. Besides, think of how fun it'll be to return to the screen once you've had some time to rebuild your tolerance. If you or this other person are feeling insecure and feeling not good enough, it may have a lot to do with social media or what you are consuming through screens, which again is very distorted because it's not real life. And I do feel called to mention, I don't know about all the algorithms, but I know that Instagram does this. Like they will put comments to the top to elicit emotion out of you, and it doesn't matter if it's good or bad. They just want you to respond. And that's why you see like a lot of shitty comments at the top of comment sections, but it sort of creates, and also just people in general, like it's the, like 99% of people are going to see a post and not comment and scroll past and just keep minding their business. It's the very loud 1% of assholes who dominate the conversation. So if you're looking at a comment section or something like that, and you are taking that as a representation of reality, of course you're going to think that everyone's judging you. Of course you're going to think that everyone is really harshly and strictly judging you because look, everyone's doing it to this person who posted, or do you know what I mean? I hope that that makes sense. And also just the classic thing of people only putting their best face forward on social media. I feel like for you or this other person, like being online could be kind of distorting your perception of reality, which is interesting because this card talks about imagination and reality being inverted to the point that maybe you actually think that you should be compared to each other, or you're weirdly in some way in competition with each other, or like not good enough for each other or something like that. So let's read the passage of this card. Soon you will be able to walk into the realm you dreamed up in your head. Think of what your computer and smartphone can already do. The world is not just stranger than we suppose, it's stranger than we can suppose. Okay, I also wanted to take a spirit cat card at the very end, so we're gonna do that. Let's get a spirit cat message for my number ones. What spirit cat would like to speak to them today? Vision. Meet Stargazer. Some say her head is in the clouds, but the view is better from up there. She can see the big picture beyond our normal sight. She can see beyond small increments of time to the vastness of years, decades, and even eternity. Take a step back and see your life through Stargazer's eyes. What visions do you have for your life? They might appear fuzzy or absent if you are afraid of the actions they are calling you to take. Acknowledge those fears. Then ask them to step aside like parting clouds until you are able to truly see. Let your visions be a beacon calling you forth. There's also a message about, it's like reclaiming your imagination and reclaiming the life that you can imagine for yourself. And there's this recurring theme of like distortion, like your perception of yourself is distorted. Your perception of this connection maybe and what you mean to each other is distorted. And your perception of the life that you can manifest or the life that you want to manifest, I feel like is also getting distorted by like the media or by screens or by advertisements or like something. I feel like something is getting in your head, and disconnecting with that and reconnecting with nature, and also just reconnecting to your own unique imagination, I feel like is really important at this time. So I think that is everything for my group number ones. Thank you very much for letting me do this reading for you. I hope you have a wonderful day or night whenever you're watching, and I wish you all the best. Please take good care of yourself, stay healthy. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you feel like doing that. If you enjoy my content and you'd like to find me elsewhere, I'm gonna have linked down below my tarot reading Instagram, my personal Instagram, my Patreon, where you can watch tons of timeless, exclusive pick a card readings just like this one. You can also decide on topics for future readings, and I will link my music channel, which includes the intro song of this video. That is an original song. I will also have my latest release linked down below, and finally my vlog channel and my merch, which features the floating temple that was at the start of this video. Thank you guys so much for supporting me, my channel, and anything else I do. I really, really appreciate having you here. And I'm sending so much love to you, so much love to your person, whoever this may be, to Spirit. Thank you for facilitating this reading. And I'm sending love to your higher selves, your spirit guides, your spiritual teams, and all of your loved ones, both here on Earth and in the other realms. And I will see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye. Hi, number twos. So if you guys chose the Opalite, this is going to be your reading. The first thing we have to do is find out what your reading is going to be about. So let's pull a paper out of our hat and see what your reading topic will be. Spirit, what would you like to talk to group number 2 about today? Okay, so we have an ending. Something in your life that is coming to an end, something that you are ready to move on from. This is what our reading is going to be about today. So we're going to start with the tarot. And I think the first thing we need to see is in what area of your life this ending is going to happen, what the ending will be, and then we'll see what your life will be like after that. My group number 2s. In what area of life is this ending happening? Or what is the nature of this ending? Okay, very, very literal card. We have the 8 of Cups, which talks about endings. It talks about walking away from something. We have the Three of Cups. Okay, starting to get more clear. And we have the Two of Wands. Okay, so this ending is likely pertaining to friendships or pertaining to a community that you belong to. I did want to mention this Eight of Cups card. It is related to the placement of Saturn in Pisces, which is where Saturn currently is right now. So just recently when this card comes out, I do feel like it's talking about the period that we're currently in. Saturn is going to remain in Pisces until early 2026. I think it's until like February or March of 2026, if I'm not mistaken, which at the time that I'm filming this is like 2 years from now. So while Saturn is in Pisces, or if you're watching this later, the next 2 years could be significant. That could be when this ending is happening. But the very first thing that came to my mind with this Eight of Cups is that this ending is happening because of a decision that you're making. You are choosing to walk away from something. The Eight of Cups person, or Dolphin in this case, walks away because the cups are empty. There's nothing left that they can learn here. There's nothing left that they can gain here. There's no more growth. There's no more challenge. Like, this situation is not serving them anymore. And a lot of the time, this Eight of Cups person / Dolphin is walking away because they're looking for something more substantial, something more profound, something that is more meaningful to them. They're like, this isn't giving me anything anymore. And so when we have the Three of Cups next to this, what this would tend to indicate is surface level relationships are ending. And the fact that we have this Saturn energy, that's also a sign of maturity. And there's also a feeling of settling into your personality. It's funny, like the Saturn return happens in your late 20s, and that's also when your brain stops developing. So you're kind of like cementing who you are and what you value. And that's not to say like you're never going to change again for the rest of your life, but I feel like you're kind of settling into the version of yourself that you will be for the next significant chunk of your life, and you have become a lot more mature. I think you're also becoming more disciplined and more ambitious with this Two of Wands. This gives the feeling of you, like you might have new goals that you want to pursue, or a significant achievement or opportunity is coming your way and you're expanding your horizons. This seems like someone who is passionate and goal-oriented and disciplined and hardworking, and who is really taking their goals into their own hands. There's this really beautiful combination of that like spark and that drive from the Two of Wands, and the inspiration and the passion, and then that sort of Saturn discipline and structure and consistency, and being able to delay instant gratification for your greater goal. So this new chapter that you're entering into, like, you mean business. You're about to make your goals a reality, because you have the inspiration to do so, and you have like the maturity and the discipline to really make it happen in a practical way. And so I think what's either happening here is that you are becoming more mature while other people around you are not. And so you're just kind of naturally outgrowing them. Or it could be that you are so busy with your professional goals, like you have a lot going for you. You're working on multiple projects that you're very passionate about, and you just have less time to have a big social circle. And so it's like only the really close, intimate connections that you can keep prioritizing, because you just literally don't have the time to have like 30 acquaintances and be, hanging out with people all the time. It's kind of like maybe time constraints or just priorities are forcing you to be more selective about who gets to keep your company. So we could be distancing ourselves from acquaintances or more casual surface level kind of friendships. This Three of Cups can mean a lot of things, but it can talk about drinking because we often see these cups as like being toasted, like people are cheersing, partying, because we often see them like dancing. It can also be gossip. So drinking, partying, gossiping, these could be things that you are kind of outgrowing, that you're kind of over, that you don't really enjoy anymore. This may not be a message for everyone, but some of you might, like, let's say you used to go out and party in the past. There may be something happening where one day you're like, I miss it. Like, I miss those crazy nights out. Like, I miss going out and drinking. And then you do it again and you're like, oh, that's why I stopped. It's like you remember it as being this really fun experience and maybe nostalgic, and then when you go out and do it again, you're like, wait, why did I love doing this so much? Well, it's just because you've changed, right? And so your priorities are different. What you enjoy doing is different. So you could be walking away from that kind of thing too. And if you had any friendships that were like based on partying or based on gossiping or based on drinking, those kinds of relationships will probably be falling away, because not only do I think you don't have time to do those things anymore, I just don't think you really have an interest in doing them anymore, at least like in this new chapter. And maybe at the time that you're watching this, like you're already over that. But yeah, there could be some people who are moving from friend to acquaintance. I just feel like you're being much more selective. And you're also in an abundance mindset where you're not going to be holding on to anything out of a fear that something else won't come and replace it. You know what I mean? So if there's certain connections that you've outgrown, I don't really see you holding on to them because like you don't want to be alone or something. I think you're in an abundance mindset where you're like, I know that the universe is going to bring me new connections. I know that if I walk away from something, the universe is going to bring in something else that is more in alignment with the version of me I'm becoming. And so it's like you're not afraid to make these changes. I feel like the Two of Wands is someone who feels like the world is their oyster and they have options and they're ready to go out and explore the world. I think you're ready to broaden your horizons and you're ready to really, again, like get down to business. I think that came through before, like you mean business. You're ready to achieve your goals. You're ready to make your dreams a reality. You're ready to pursue your professional goals, which may take you to different places, but it's like you're ready for it. So let's see what your life is going to be like after this ending happens. What is group? Okay. Should we take all of these? Yes. What is group number 2's life going to be like after this ending happens? We have the Six of Wands, the Two of Pentacles, oh my gosh, the Knight of Wands, and the King of Cups. Wow. Beautiful, beautiful energy. So starting off with the Six of Wands, this is confirmation. I've probably said this like 3 times at this point, but you are ready to make your dreams a reality. This is you achieving success. You could be achieving an important milestone in your life. Another thing that could be ending is that you could just be getting rid of distractions that keep you away from your goals. You could be deleting apps off of your phone that take up a lot of your time. You could be selling things that are a distraction. Like, just for example, maybe you have like an Xbox or something and you sell that because you're like, I don't even want this in my house, tempting me. Or maybe you're deleting some like games or social media off your phone, or, you know, just getting rid of anything that could tempt you to fall back into old patterns. And I want to be clear, there's literally nothing wrong with playing games. I'm not like, I play games too, but I think there just may be some things that you assess for yourself. Like, I know if I have this temptation around me, then I could spend a lot of time on that rather than what I truly want to be doing. There's just a feeling of getting rid of things and replacing them with things that are more suited to your habits. Like, another example would be if there's like certain foods that you want to stay away from, like removing those from your home so it's not even, so it's like out of sight, out of mind kind of thing. You are actively taking steps to make shifting into the habits that you want easier for you. And you are being successful. So I feel like the Six of Wands could also be talking about you successfully building a healthy habit that, or a habit that is in alignment with the version of you want to be. You could be successfully building that habit after so long of not being able to do it. You could also be breaking a habit that has not been in alignment, that you were really struggling with breaking before, because there's an intense feeling of like victory and being really proud of yourself with this card. Like, heck yeah, I did it. I did it. I proved myself that I could do it. And I proved to all of you that I could do it. And you just feel like you're on top of the world. So yeah, there's a feeling of like getting rid of anything that was a distraction, that was taking you away from focusing on the things you wanted to achieve, and finally making your goals a reality. So you are just really feeling on top of the world. You're feeling very accomplished. There's also a feeling with the Six of Wands of getting recognition. So this could be receiving recognition from your peers and like the people around you. Oh, sorry, I kicked the tripod. This could be like getting recognition from your peers. The people around you are very proud of you. Or it could be on a larger scale. Like if that resonates with what you are trying to do, you could be gaining a platform, you could be gaining a following, or you could at the very least be gaining recognition and like making a name for yourself in your field. So like the other people in that profession, the other people in that industry all like know your name and know about your accomplishments. There's a feeling of you having some kind of noteworthy accomplishment with the Six of Wands. And also with the Two of Pentacles, I feel like that's such an interesting mirror to the Two of Wands. You have multiple goals and multiple projects, multiple businesses even. Like more than one venture of yours is going to become successful. And I feel like that will be even more reason to really like get your priorities straight and be working smart, because there's a feeling with the Two of Pentacles of multitasking and, you know, juggling the various things that you have going on. I'm really happy to see the Knight of Wands here, because this shows me, and I love that it's facing towards the Two of Pentacles, because this is like, you got things to juggle, you have multiple projects going, and the Knight of Wands is like, I'm ready for it, and just like enthusiastically running towards the goals. And so this tells me that you have not only like the mental drive to do everything you want to do, but you also have the physical energy and like the physical stamina and the focus. I feel like there is some kind of improvement with your health that is probably a combination of physical things and mental things, where now you just feel like you have so much more energy. And there's this feeling of, wow, ever since I started this new habit, or ever since I stopped this old habit, I've been feeling so much better. I feel like I sleep better. I feel like I have more energy during the day. Like there's something you're doing or something you're stopping that is really improving your vitality, and it's coming through that it kind of surprises you. Like you wouldn't have, like drinking water, for example. I think everybody associates drinking water with like, oh, you're gonna feel better or you're gonna be healthier, but it may be something that is not so obvious to you. Like there was kind of a sneaky culprit that was taking away your energy or taking away your vitality, and you're like, wow, ever since I'm doing this, I feel a lot better. Like this was more powerfully influencing how I felt than I realized. So yeah, I feel like this Knight of Wands is just you being so full of life. And I also think another thing that's coming through is that the people who are your real friends are going to be really excited about the changes that you're making. When they see you becoming a healthier version of yourself, whatever that looks like for you, when they see you achieving your goals, when they see you getting busier, when they see you like booked and busy and in high demand and making your dreams a reality, they're going to be so happy and excited for you. And this message is sort of coming through, like that's who you'll know who your true friends are, is when they are just as hype about your accomplishments as you are, or maybe even more. And I think also your true friends are going to be really showing you off and bragging about your accomplishments because they're just genuinely so proud, and maybe even actively supporting you. Like if you have businesses, maybe they're going to be customers of your business. So you definitely have excited support around you. And I feel like it's more people who are like maybe salty that you don't, I don't know, like people who take it personally that you're busy, and of course your real friends are going to miss you, but there's just something about like how people react to you being more like busy and more thriving and healthy and reaching your goals. How they react will kind of reveal to you like who is really supporting you, or who is really your friend, or who really wants the best for you. Yeah, and then we have the King of Cups. This is so sweet because the King of Cups is a literal king, but he looks so bashful. Like look at him blushing. And I feel like this is you, and it's representing how grateful you are and just how humble you are. I just see this king sitting on his throne, and he's like, oh guys, like, thank you for giving me this throne. I'm so honored to be your king, and I promise I'll do my best to serve you. You know, rather than being like, I'm the king and you have to do what I say. He's just so grateful to be here. You know what I mean? I feel like I'm hearing like there's not a mean bone in your body, and also no competitive. Like you may have a competitive spirit with yourself, but I don't think you really feel like you're in competition with anyone else or have to prove yourself to anyone else. Like you're just so grateful to be here. And I think that's because you're in a really good place within yourself. You know, the Suit of Cups has to do with your emotions and your heart, and especially this King of Cups. It feels like you've really mastered generating your own emotional fulfillment and like generating self-love from within. This is where you're at. Yeah. Oh, I love this energy. So let's take some of your oracle cards too. What else does group number 2 need to know about this situation? Oh, we have healing with the number 44 and very strong wind outside, and 2222 on the camera timer as I'm holding up this card. And we have 2 people holding hands, and this background actually reminds me of what you would see in a Two of Wands, Three of Wands type card. Feeling like, it feels like expanding horizons. It feels like the world is your oyster. This definitely feels like meeting a fated counterpart with whom you experience a lot of healing. The fact that there's 44 on here and 22 on the camera, and there was like a huge gust of wind audible. I don't know if the camera picked it up, but there was like a really big audible gust of wind, and it only lasted for a couple seconds, so it really stood out to me. Which wind makes me think of change, like the winds of change. So, and you know, part of me did wonder if this King of Cups was like someone who admires you, possibly romantically, someone who wants to take care of you, someone who wants to heal you. So that's also, it almost kind of looks like the Lovers card too, because there's the two people and then there's this rabbit at the top, which just the position that the rabbit is in looks like the angels in the Lovers card. So this definitely feels like a fated counterpart entering your life. What else does group number 2 need to know? We also have forgiveness, healing and forgiveness. And look at this. And at the bottom of the deck, we have abundance, which, yeah, can definitely see that abundance is coming your way. And we have 2 people in this card again. So I wonder if this is you and your boo, or you and your counterpart enjoying vacation. And I'm really happy to see this because we were speaking about you being like busier and having things to juggle, but this looks very vacation-like. So it's definitely a sign of having a good balance in your life and having time to rest and recharge. So probably the busyness that you're experiencing in your life is your own choice. It's not like you're super busy because you have tons of people pulling you in different directions. You're like, I'm busy because I want to be, because there's all these things that I want to work on. And when I want to take a vacation, I will take a vacation. That is the vibe. I also love that it's the number 43 because that's the number of the Emperor and the number of the Empress. And that is also giving divine counterpart vibes. And even the fact that there's money present here on the beach, it's like, yeah, I feel like you're healing. You could be healing limiting beliefs surrounding abundance. And maybe this is a sign of like passive income or generating income through things that feel like play to you or that feel like fun to you. So if you have a limiting belief of like, I can only generate abundance if I'm doing something that doesn't feel good, if I'm doing work that sucks and that's like very draining, or if you have any limiting beliefs surrounding passive income, I feel like that's being healed. And then we also have forgiveness. So this could be about forgiving yourself. Of course, it could also be about forgiving others. Now we have the number 23, that's divine feminine because that's the high priestess and the empress. So I wonder if you're forgiving an aspect of yourself that was oppressing your feminine energy, which is your creative energy, your receptive energy. If there was a part of you that was suppressing your feminine energy, maybe this is about forgiving that part of yourself. It could be about forgiving society or forgiving family members or forgiving anyone who shamed your feminine energy or suppressed it. And it could even have been other women in your life who internalized this patriarchal belief system and passed it down to you. And maybe you felt like you had to be living in your masculine to survive in this world, which I think a lot of us do. And I think this counterpart, oh, I'm getting emotional. This counterpart is helping you feel like it's safe to be in your feminine, and your gender doesn't matter, their gender doesn't matter. Just to be gently held by someone who loves you and someone who allows you to receive. It's like you feel safe to be in your feminine now. So that's healing. And then also there's a forgiveness that happens with that, you know, forgiving yourself, forgiving others for, you know, maybe distorted masculine energy that you had internalized and that you felt like you had to be in. Interesting. So there's a couple other oracle decks I want to use. There's this one, which arrived in the mail while I was filming group number 1. So I think we should use it in today's reading. And then we also have Spirit Cats, which I will pull at the very end. Anything else that group number 2 needs to know? Oh, wow. You don't hate yourself. You hate not being yourself. Yeah. It's like, so you could be feeling like you don't, and it's not that you don't like yourself. It's the mask that you wear. It's the persona that you're pretending to be to survive on this earth. Or this could also be like you're not tired of life itself. You're tired of the character that you're playing, or you're tired of the role that you're taking, but you can always change that. One more from this deck. Oh my gosh! That goes together so well. Death is just one character I play. My real name is Change. Oof, like I just got chills because this is like, I feel like an old version of you was dying because you realize like, this is not me. This is a character that I've been playing because I've been in survival mode. It's like a version of you that you've put forward because you had internalized like, this is who I need to be in order to be accepted. And to our primitive brain, acceptance equals survival. Because like if the tribe rejects you, so to speak, and you're on your own, that historically would mean death, I think. So yeah, your ego sees approval as like survival. And so I feel like there was a version of you that you were being because you were taught like this is who you need to be to gain approval. And so if you had any feelings of like disdain for yourself, well, it's not really for you. It's for this inauthentic version that you don't have to be anymore. And it's crazy that we were talking about like you can change that at any time, and then this card comes out. This looks like you shedding your old skin and letting your true colors come out. And again, I feel like this counterpart plays a huge role in that, and like making you feel safe to do so. So another huge gust of wind to confirm. And funny too, because on this card it looks like it definitely looks windy with this upswept hair and dress. Wind could be like a significant sign in some way. Let's get you a spirit cat and see what messages the spirit cat has for you. Whoop. Okay, so here is your kitty. Very cute, they all are. And we have trust. Meet Safi. Trust begins as an agreement she makes with the flame in her heart. She agrees to let it guide her even when it beckons her deep into the night forest of the unknown. When she trusts, the darkness is illuminated and the forest sparkles with her heart light. She may not know exactly where the path leads, but she trusts the enchantment of a journey born of intuition. What you truly seek awaits you. Trust yourself. Step into the forest and begin your wild quest towards the longings of your soul. I love that. I was just talking to a friend about this the other day, that like, I think we need to remember a lot of the time that when we agree to trust our intuition, that's like a promise. It's like you're agreeing to marry your intuition for better or worse. And that includes in times of uncertainty. That includes when you don't know why your intuition is guiding you this way, or like what the outcome is going to be. Because otherwise that's conditional trust. You have to be like, okay, soul, like, I don't know what you're cooking up, but I trust you. I'll come with you. So yeah, that's the last message for you and the last piece of advice. I think this is from your higher self. Okay, so group number 2s, these are all of the messages that I have for you. So I'm going to end your reading here. Thank you so much for letting me do this reading for you. I hope you have a wonderful day or night whenever you're watching, and I wish you all the best. Please take good care of yourself, stay healthy. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you feel like doing that. If you enjoy my content and you'd like to find me elsewhere, I'm going to have linked down below my tarot reading Instagram, my personal Instagram, my Patreon, where you can watch tons of timeless, exclusive pick a card readings just like this one. And you can also decide on topics for future readings. I will link my music channel, which includes the intro song of this video. That is, oh my gosh, she's windy today. Yeah, the intro song of this video is an original song. So I'll have that link down below, as well as my latest release. And I will also link my vlog channel and my merch, which features the floating temple that was at the start of this video. Thank you guys so much for supporting me, my channel, and anything I do. I really, really appreciate having you here, and I'm sending so much love to you, to Spirit. Thank you for facilitating this reading, to your higher self, to your counterpart and their higher self, and your spirit guides, your spiritual team, to all of your loved ones, to your real friends, to your acquaintances. I'm sending them all love, all of your loved ones, both here on earth and in the other realms. And I will see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye. Hi, number 3s. So if you guys chose the Citrine, this is going to be your reading. And the first thing we have to do is find out what your reading is going to be about today. So we are going to pull a topic from this hat and see what Spirit would like to talk to you about. Spirit, what would you like to talk to group number 3 about today? What would you like to talk to group number 3 about? Oh my gosh, interesting. A timeline shift. Okay. I say oh my gosh as if I didn't write these myself, but I think this is an interesting one. So let's get into it. I started with the tarot decks for the other groups, but I feel like starting with the Oracle for you guys. So group number 3 is going through a timeline shift right now. You are jumping to a different timeline than the one you have previously been on. You know what's interesting? This Oracle deck, you can see it has keywords on the bottom of the cards: future, parallel, past, like talking about future, past, and parallel timelines. So it's very interesting that out of the 51 topics that I wrote down, you get one about a timeline shift. Very interesting. Okay, Spirit, please, what can you tell us about group number 3's timeline shift? What can you tell us about group number 3's timeline shift? So we have number 58, seduction and addiction. Orion, and the present. We have Enlightenment, number 97, Zeta Reticuli, and the future. I think I'm gonna take 4. Pushing the Envelope, number 17, Lyra, and the present. Okay, and one more. And Learning to Nurture, number 81, we have our Zeta friends again, and we have the present moment. So any of these numbers that have appeared could be significant to you, but let's get into this. So if I take this very literally, some of you guys could be, or someone close to you could be overcoming an addiction, and like that's an element of the timeline shift that you are going through. I want to talk about this pushing the envelope card because I think the number 17 is quite significant. It's related to the star card, and it sort of gives a promise of a bright future. And so with pushing the envelope, it gives a feeling of pushing the limits of what you feel is possible for yourself, or of how happy and expansive your future can be. I definitely think if you chose this group, the timeline that you have been on up until now has likely not been very easy. It feels like challenge after challenge. Things repeatedly maybe like not coming through in the way that you wanted them to. So like repeated disappointments as well. And this has sort of shaped your mind in such a way that it may be difficult to imagine a bright future, or suggesting that the future is hopeful might even feel inauthentic, or might even make you feel worse at times. And I think a really important message here is that your future, there's nothing that says your future has to look anything like the past or even anything like your present. You can step into literally a completely new timeline. And I think the main feature of this new timeline is that the things that once held you back are not going to be there anymore. It's like the difficulties are magically disappearing. And I do feel that for a lot of you, it's something that is so difficult for your mind to fathom, because these things get cemented in our brain through repetition. If you've gone after difficulty after difficulty after difficulty in your life, disappointment after disappointment, your brain just learns like this is the way things are. It's never going to be any different, because it recognizes that pattern and projects it onto your future. And this is about stepping into a completely new reality where the things that have held you back are no longer present. It's almost like I'm seeing a visual of, oh my gosh, I'm seeing a visual of someone who's like banging and banging on a door and it won't open for them. And they've been like pulling with all their might and, ramming on the door and trying to claw at the door and pushing all of their body weight onto it. And then all of a sudden the door is light as a feather and just like bursts open, and they like fall into the open door because of how much force they were using. It's like things that were once so difficult for you are suddenly becoming easy. Things that your brain has learned through repetition that take a ton of energy and that are so difficult, and this door is not going to open for me. It's like all of a sudden that's changing. All of a sudden that's changing. You know, I know that enlightenment kind of means something different, but I think this is indicating that the energy is becoming lighter for you. Like an energy that once felt very heavy is now light. And I also see you getting a lot more support with this learning to nurture card. And I almost wonder, because I just remember reading about Zeta in the guidebook, and it was like Earthlings did Zeta a favor, and then Zeta are returning the favor. So I wonder if, like, in another timeline, in another dimension, like a parallel version of you did a huge favor to some other beings, and so now they're returning the favor by removing your obstacles. Obstacles are being removed, blockages are being removed, like your own resistance is being removed, and this is happening suddenly. Let's get into the tarot to see more what's happening in this timeline shift. Orion and Lyra may also be places that you resonate with. Okay, so we have two coming out really fast. We have the High Priestess, which is so cool because she looks like an interdimensional being in this card. We have the Three of Wands, which is very much doors opening for you, opportunities coming in for you. And with the High Priestess, there's a feeling that they're coming to you effortlessly and they are finding you. This card is related to the sun. As you can see, there's the symbol of the sun here. And the sun, it sounds kind of weird to say the sun attracts other planets, but it's like pulling in the planets and shining its light. And it doesn't have to force this to happen. It's just like the laws of gravity. The planets get attracted to orbit around the sun. Anyway, if I put that in easier wording, you are the sun in this case. So you are shining your light brightly and you are naturally attracting opportunities and offers. So you're no longer feeling like you have to bang on doors and like hurl yourself at doors to get them to open for you. Someone on the other side is opening the door and inviting you in. It's like you're not chasing the success is finding you because it's naturally drawn to you, because you are shining like this sun. It's gonna become a lot easier to attract what you want in this new timeline. It's not gonna feel like you have to chase anything or you have to force anything. Things are just gonna be falling in your lap, basically. There is a message in group number 2 about passive income, and I feel like that's the case for this group as well. I see passive income. I also see like you're receiving a lot of replies or receiving a lot of acceptances. Like if you submitted or applied to many places, you're receiving a lot of acceptances, or your inbox is full of people offering things to you. Like that's what I keep seeing. Also noticing that there's, I think this is a camel or a dromedary or something down here, and I'm thinking about how they go for a long time without drinking water. You have endured a lot. You have gone for a long time, I think, without seeing the fruition of your desires. And I feel like it's going to feel weird that it's all happening so quickly and so effortlessly now. There might be a part of you that's like, this seems weird. This seems too good to be true. This is the new timeline that you're in. Some benevolent being, or maybe your higher self, has really lifted a lot of blockages. I also like that we have the keyword virtue here. It definitely gives the feeling of this is like good karma that you have accumulated. Like either you in this expression of your existence has done some really good deeds, or a version of you in another dimension, a version of you in a parallel world has done some really good deeds. And this is some kind of repayment or an act of gratitude that is being given to you by a benevolent being. Here, let me open this door for you. Let me open all these doors for you. This is going to also help you to become more of an action taker. You know, like, I don't think that things coming effortlessly to you is going to make you passive. I actually think it's very much the opposite. It's going to make you more motivated to take action, more motivated to work hard, because now you feel like you can actually get a response for the efforts that you're putting in. I feel like before, if you lacked motivation, it was because in a way your brain was like, what is even the point? Like, I've seen it so many times before. I'm not going to get the response I'm looking for. I'm not going to get the results I'm looking for. So why would I even waste my energy trying? Whether you were thinking like that consciously or subconsciously, I think there was some instinct in your brain of like, no, like, save yourself the energy, like, don't waste your time. So now that you're starting to see all this positive response for your efforts, rather than that making you like, oh, you're just getting too comfortable or like you're getting entitled, no, it's very much the opposite. You're like, now I actually feel motivated to do more. And on that note, if you have judged yourself for being not very motivated and felt like you're lazy or you're not doing enough, it's like, how can you... This is like divine feminine energy, and divine feminine energy is very generous, but she can only give if she's receiving. So it's like, how could you expect of yourself to give and give and give if you're not receiving anything? What else does group number 3 need to know about this energy? We have the two, oh, it's the Two of Wands. And we have the keyword Dominion. Group number 2 also got the Two of Wands. So that's the second time I'm mentioning group number 2 again. I don't know if you guys were drawn to that group as well, but there may be messages for you in that group. And both of these are Aries energy. So you or someone significant could have Aries placements, or like Aries season could be a significant time, which is late March to late April. Actually, quite soon at the time that this video is going up. That's very soon. But this also further indicates to me that you are stepping into a motivated energy and more of like a go-getter energy. Whereas I feel like before, you know, making moves and putting in effort, taking action towards what you want was probably like a very calculated decision of like, is this going to be worth my energy? Is this even going to go well? And now I feel like because you have the energy to do stuff, literally, you're like, let's try it and see what happens. So it becomes more of like, let's just try this for fun and no pressure, because this feeling of needing to conserve your energy is going away because you have such a full supply of energy. And when this came up in group number 2, we were talking about like a newfound ambition and again, new opportunities coming in, starting new projects. It's like you finally have gotten the ball rolling again, and you're free from any limiting beliefs or any external circumstances that were holding you back. Those are being removed now. And I feel like Dominion could be indicating you finally feeling like you have some control over your life. Not all, of course, because we never have control over everything, but actually feeling like I have some power to control the outcome in my life. It's a beautiful feeling. You could also be suddenly getting good at something that you never considered yourself to be good at before. And that's also a part of this timeline shift. Like maybe it was really hard for you before to, this is just an example, but to like sing on pitch and carry a tune. It's like you could never really get it. Or like me, for example, I cannot whistle. I don't get it. I don't understand how whistling works. I've never been able to do it, let alone whistle a tune. Like, what is that sorcery? And so, like, if this were me, maybe in this timeline shift, like one day I'm just idly, I don't know, walking the dog, and I start whistling a tune, and I'm like, wait a minute, did I just whistle? Like, what is going on? Some new talent or ability just seemingly appearing like magic, and you're like, I could never do this before. There's also a feeling of like getting noticed. You're finally getting noticed, and that could just be in general, that your efforts and your work are getting noticed and getting more attention, or it could be a specific person that you're getting attention from. Just for one example, let's say there's like a live streamer that you always watch and you're always sending messages into the chat, but they've never read them, and now suddenly they're like acknowledging you and responding to you. It could be a public figure. It could be someone you look up to. It could be a specific person that you're interested in is like noticing you and reciprocating your energy. Or it could just be in general that you find more people are paying attention to you and what you're doing. We have the Hierophant. So Aries and Taurus season could be an important time. The months of March, April, May. If you've had any frustrations or any limitations imposed on you because of an authority figure or because of like an institution or rules or administrative stuff, because of paperwork, like if there's any rules and regulations or your relationship with authority figures, if that's been holding you back, that's also going to be dealt with. There could be something about your passport for some of you. Like, just for example, maybe you have a passport that you can't freely travel in a certain country. You have to apply for a visa and it's a whole thing. And then that rule is changing. So now your passport can freely travel to all these different places. So like, rules could be changing, restrictions could be lifted. There could be an authority figure who's becoming more lenient or more understanding, and that's removing a lot of stress from your life. Ooh, and we have Lust, Leo energy as well, and Lyra actually reminds me of Leo energy coming through as well. This is the Strength card, and at the bottom of the deck we have the Devil. Yeah, like you guys really have been held down and really have been held back. Like there have been blockages, there have been heavy energies, and I feel like the Devil card is really just acknowledging that like yes, they have been there, and yes, they are going to be removed. This strength card, like the fact that it has the keyword lust on it, it is just making me think of getting your vital energy back, you know, because like Leo, 5th house energy, yes, it is sexual energy. It's also creative energy. It's also just like your life force, you know, like it's the sun. And I feel like you are getting your life force back. Definitely your physical energy, your motivation, creativity. Like if you've been experiencing a lot of creative blocks, that's not going to be an issue anymore either. Like you're full of not only inspiration, but and that could have been so frustrating. I feel like some of you either have had creative blocks, so like ideas are not coming, or you had the problem where you had a lot of ideas, but you didn't have the energy to execute them. And so that's something that's dramatically changing as well, that you're full of ideas and you also have that drive to create them and to make them a reality. Could be something about like sexual drive here as well, or feeling comfortable in expressing yourself in that way, an improvement in that area of your life, if that's something that resonates with you. But yeah, the imagery is definitely a bit more spicy on this strength card than it usually is. I wonder if I should be covering, just in case. I know it's a drawing, but YouTube scares me, so I'm just gonna cover it just in case with some beautiful peach moonstone. Yeah, and there's a message coming through. I feel like there's a part of you that feels like it's gotten used to bracing yourself for the worst, you know? Like I just have, like, let's say you're a creative, and you posted something, like you shared your work or you submitted your work somewhere, and the next day you go to check your inbox and it's like you're bracing yourself. It's gonna be full of rejections, or like I'm gonna have an empty inbox. So you're like preparing yourself for the worst, and then even with the smallest bit of positive feedback or recognition or acceptance, it's like, oh my gosh, I'm so happy, I'm so grateful. And like, while it's very beautiful to have that happy reaction and have that gratitude, it's also coming through like, I don't know, it's kind of sad to be in that energy of like preparing for the worst, or expecting a worst case scenario. And I mean, I guess if your expectation is down here and the reality is here, I mean, that gap is very big. So you're going to feel very, very happy. But I think that in this new timeline, that habit of bracing yourself for the worst is probably not going to be as strong. You're going to start to expect that good things will happen to you because they do. And again, it's not that you're becoming entitled for good things to always happen to you and to not come against any type of challenge, but you don't have that like, oh, surely the universe wouldn't give me something good, or like, surely I can't make something good happen. It's like you start to expect that good things will happen because you know what you're capable of, and you believe in yourself, and you know that the universe wants to be good to you. Okay, so we're going to use a couple more oracle decks. One of them came in the mail while I was filming group 1, so we are going to use that. What else does group number 3 need to know? You never get there and you never stay here. So remembering that things are constantly shifting. I think you've maybe been in this pattern of thinking that things can't change for you, or that things are always going to be this way, or you're going to be stagnant, and that's just not true. Like every second things can change. You can shift into a completely new reality. And I also think with the message on this card, something that may be changing for you is no longer having this concept of like a destination, like some place that you need to get to, and then you're happy, and then you're successful, and then you're worthy. Like getting more into an energy of enjoying the journey, so to speak. That's a beautiful image. I love that. So let's get one more from this deck. Interesting, and how you know that's what you want exactly. Yeah, I feel like those kind of go together, because it's like this message of you never get there, and you can never quite know exactly where you should be, quote unquote, or exactly what you should be doing, or what you should be pursuing. So I feel like both of these cards are talking about surrender and not getting too attached to any one outcome or any one destination or even any one person, and just be open. I guess I really need to buy new batteries. I keep saying I'm gonna do it, but they do not hold their charge anymore. What I was saying was, having clear desires and having strong desires is a beautiful thing, but I think it's important that the ego doesn't get so attached to any one outcome that it thinks that this is the only thing that will make me happy, or like my happiness depends on this thing. I think it takes a good amount of surrender to say that maybe there is something out there that is better for me, that will make me happier, that is in better alignment with where my soul is headed. And it's almost like I have the humility to allow the universe to show me that. And like, I trust the universe's judgment, and I trust my higher self's judgment. And finally, we are going to get a spirit cat card for you. What spirit cat has a message for my group number 3s? So here is your cat. Oh, she looks so peaceful. And the message is synchronicity. Meet Lexi. She passed into our world through the divine nexus of a series of unlikely events. She arrives at the precise moment when she is needed most. As if answering a silent prayer, she appears with a perfect and sweet antidote to our fears and struggles. You will not know when she is coming, but when she arrives, your heart will open, the air will sparkle, and your world will awaken with new life. Coincidence? Maybe. A beautiful mystery? Certainly. Watch for her paw prints as they glimmer and meander through your life. So pay attention to synchronicities, as they might be indicating that you have made this timeline shift. If you start to see more and more synchronicities in your life, that's probably a sign that you have made the jump into this new timeline. And just in general, pay attention when you see them, because like, depending on what you're doing in that moment or what you're thinking about in that moment, it could be a sign to explore that further. And synchronicities may not be telling you what the outcome is going to be or what's going to happen, but they could be nudging you to explore something more, or to take certain actions, or to head in a certain direction and see where it takes you. Okay, so group number 3s, those are all the messages I have for you. So I'm going to end the reading here. Thank you so much for letting me do this reading for you. I hope you have a wonderful day or night whenever you're watching, and I wish you all the best. Please take good care of yourself, stay healthy. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you feel like doing that. If you enjoy my content and you'd like to find me elsewhere, I'm going to have linked down below my tarot reading Instagram, my personal Instagram, my Patreon, where you can watch tons of timeless, exclusive pick a card readings just like this one, and you can also decide on topics for future readings. I will link my music channel, which includes the intro song of this video that is an original song. I will also have my latest release linked down below, and finally my vlog channel and my merch, which features the floating temple that was at the start of this video. Thank you guys so much for supporting me, my channel, and anything I do. I really, really appreciate having you here, and I'm sending so much love to you, the you who exists in all dimensions, in all different timelines, and I'm sending love to your higher self, your spirit guides, your spiritual team, and all of your loved ones, both here on earth and in the other realms, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye! Hi number 4s, so if you guys chose the Mangano Calcite, this is going to be your reading. So the first thing that we need to do is find out what your reading topic is going to be. So I'm going to pull a paper from this hat and we'll see what Spirit wants to talk to you about today. Spirit, what would you like to talk to group number 4 about today? What is the topic of group number 4's reading today? What would you like to discuss with them? Okay, so the topic that we have for you is what the synchronicities mean. So this reading will be for those of you who have been seeing signs and synchronicities, but you are not sure what they're trying to tell you. If that's something that you've been going through and a topic that you are interested in hearing about, stick around. If this does not apply to you or it's not something you want to hear about, then you might want to try choosing a different group. But let's go ahead and get into it. And I want to start with the oracle for you guys. Spirit, what can you tell us about the synchronicities that group number 4 is experiencing? Why are these synchronicities happening? What are they trying to tell group number 4? Okay, so we have Desert Jasper, Vesta, and Resolve with the number 32. Okay, right away, these synchronicities are here for reassurance. Woo! Next card came out with a lot of energy. We have Direction, Super 7, which I think is quite rare, the Aleister star, and the number 20. And we have Empathy, Rose Quartz, Venus, and the number 14. Group number 4, your soul has taken on a pretty big mission in this lifetime, and you have some very powerful beings who are working with you in the higher dimensions. With Super 7, obviously that's the name of the crystal, but it did make me think of the crown chakra being the 7th chakra. It's also making me think of the 7th dimension, which, if I'm not mistaken, is where angels exist. So you could have a lot of angelic support on your journey. And I want to say ascended masters as well are working with you for your life purpose. It's like you've taken on a big mission to help this planet and to help the people on Earth. And they want to give you strength and they want to give you guidance on this journey. When Desert Jasper came out, it's kind of coming through as the synchronicities are here to bring you confirmation and to boost your spirits. Because I feel like the journey you're on, the things that you're manifesting and the things that you're pursuing, they are not really journeys of instant results. So, and by the way, that's not something that's unique to you. It may seem that way. You might look around and feel like other people are manifesting faster than you or easier than you. But I think your team wants to reassure to you that this path is difficult. So it's not like there's something wrong with you, or that like, it's not that you're doing anything wrong. This is kind of inherently a difficult journey, or a big journey that your soul has chosen, and it will take time for things to play out. I think that your spiritual journey and what your soul is accomplishing in this lifetime, it is a complex one. I'm hearing your journey is a complex one, and there's a lot of components that need to come together. There's a lot of things that need to line up in order for it to happen. And I'm also hearing it's really, really important to suspend judgments throughout the course of this journey. It's like I have this visual of someone making a sculpture. So they're chipping away at a block of something, and you cannot tell what the sculpture is going to be until the very end. And if you try to guess what the sculpture is before it's finished, you're gonna guess wrong. So like, it's really important to not make judgments about your journey and what should be happening and what the final outcome is gonna be. So there may be twists and turns throughout your journey, or just a lot of components that take time to reach their final form. And your spiritual team is saying this is just the nature of the journey, and it is in no way like you're doing something wrong. I think a lot of the times humans feel like things that are done right should be done quickly and in a very clear-cut A to B kind of way, and that is just really not how life works. And so I think they're here to just bring you that reassurance that you are still very much on the right path, and you are, the things that you feel called to are definitely for a reason, and they're asking that you keep going down this path. And they're giving you synchronicities to offer you that confirmation precisely because they recognize that in your current 3D reality, there's maybe not a lot of positive reinforcement. There's maybe not a lot of support or a lot of evidence that what you're doing is the right thing. And so they're sending you these signs and synchronicities to let you know, when maybe you don't see a lot of 3D proof of your efforts paying off or of you being on the right path, just know that we are here and we see you. And we want to let you know that you are doing the right thing. The things that you're focused on, the people, the places that you are drawn to, these are all divinely guided, and we just want you to know that. I think resolve was making me think of these synchronicities are here to help you feel more sure about the path you're taking, and more, they want to help you feel more committed. Like Vesta makes me think of commitment and dedication, and also finding where you belong in this world, and like finding where you feel at home, whether that's in a connection, in a certain role that you take on in this world, in a certain place. You are moving towards your home. You are moving towards your true north. And they want to help you stay committed on this journey, because in this world, it is easy to lose hope. Sometimes it's hard to keep the hope and to keep like your eyes on your vision. And desert was also making me think that sometimes you might feel like unsupported, or feel like, am I crazy? Am I delusional? Am I on the wrong path? So yeah, they want to bring you a sense of commitment and a sense of direction. And also with this empathy, they want you to know we see you. We see you and we love you. And we're very grateful for the work that you're doing. And empathy is also making me think that many of the beings helping you right now have probably been humans at one point. And so they understand the difficulties of living on this earth and the difficulties of trying to manifest the things that you want to manifest, and remaining faithful when there's such a sometimes like thick veil between your human self and the higher dimensions, and it is hard to keep the faith. And they really, like, if you ever have doubts or negative thoughts, there is never a need to feel guilty or wrong about that. In fact, they empathize with the negative thoughts that you have. They empathize with the fears that you have and the doubts that you have and the frustrations too. Because again, it's a tough journey that you're on, and it's a complex one. And I just feel like with this Venus, they're sending you so much love. And I also think that they're sending people to help you. The synchronicities could be a sign that people are coming in to help you, or that a significant person is coming in. And I also thought that with the two staircases that are joining, it's like important partnerships are coming in to help you on this journey, or a specific partnership that you're manifesting is coming in. Yeah, so let's get into your tarot now and see what else you need to know. The signs Libra, Scorpio, Sagittarius could be significant. You or someone else could have placements in the signs of Libra, Scorpio, Sagittarius, or this time of year could be significant. The months of October, November, December, roughly, could be an important time in your life. What else does group number 4 need to know about these synchronicities? Another thing I'm noticing is that the numbers on these cards, like the digits that are appearing, we have 0, 1, 2, 3, and 4 throughout all of these cards, but obviously they're not appearing in numerical order. Like it's 3, 2, 0, 1, 4. And so you may have preconceived notions about the order that certain events are going to happen in your life, you know. And again, that's like humans wanting things to be very linear and clear cut. Like this is step 1, this is step 2, this is step 3. Like this is the order that you achieve your goals, or that you hit milestones in your life, or this is the order that I need to take the steps in. And they might be saying that things are probably going to unfold in a different order than what you expect, or the timing of things in your life could be very different than what you expect. So things could happen dramatically sooner than what you had imagined, and things could happen dramatically later than what you imagined. Like, just for one example, the standard, let's say, is that you go to college, you get your degree, and then you get married and you have a family and you get a house and blah, blah, blah. And someone might like have a family much younger than they originally thought, and so think that they missed out on their chance to do all the stuff that you're supposed, with heavy finger quotes, that you're supposed to do before. But maybe your journey looks like having a family first, and then when you're older, going back to school and getting your degree. Like, I guess what they're trying to say is that there's no right or wrong order to live your life, and there's no right or wrong timing to live your life, because your life is yours. And with the utmost peace and love, people who think otherwise may be a little bit closed-minded. What else does group number 4 need to know about these synchronicities? We have the 6 of Pentacles, the 7 of Swords, the 4 of Cups. Okay, this image is giving me soul family vibes, because it's like these are like the humans on Earth, and this is like the guardian angel or the spiritual team who is overseeing this soul group and who is bringing a soul group together. And also, this feels, the 6 of Pentacles feels like you are being supported. So that kind of goes with the previous message of your spiritual team is now going to bring in supportive people to help you on your mission. I think I'll take 2 more. Ooh, and 2 came out at the same time. We have, okay, this is one energy though, the Hanged Man and the Knight of Cups. And we have the Moon. I actually, when this first came out, I thought it was the King of Cups. Like I just read it as the King of Cups and I was like, oh, that makes sense, because like the King of Cups is related to Piscean energy, and then the Hanged Man is as well, and the Moon is as well. So I might read this in a kind of King of Cups-esque way, but I feel like a Pisces could be super significant, a person with Pisces placements. And also all of these are Moon cards. So Moon energy is coming through really strongly as well. This is a Cancer Moon. This is an Aquarius Moon. This is a Taurus Moon. I know I'm naming a lot of signs, but if you or someone significant to you has these placements, this could be a confirmation of your soul connection. And these 2 cards together, it gives the feeling of you've been waiting and waiting for someone to come into your life. You know, the Knight of Cups being like someone coming towards you, someone who is kind, empathetic, loving. It could be you're waiting for someone to come in with an offer of love, or just someone to empathize with you and empathize with your struggle and help you in your struggle. And with the Hanged Man, there's a feeling that you've been waiting and waiting for this, and I think your spiritual team is confirming to you that yes, you are waiting on someone. Like someone is set to come towards you, and you are in this energy of waiting for them. And it could be a specific person. You could know who this is who is meant to come towards you, or you could just know that there's someone out there who is meant to come towards you. But you know, the Hanged Man it comes right before death. So it's like right before our big transformation, right before our big breakthrough is the Hanged Man. And so I feel like you're at a point where you've done everything you can alone, like at this point in your journey. And it is time for someone else to come in so that you can enter into the next chapter together. But you are in this waiting stage right now. It's almost like you have gone through all of on this staircase. Like let's say each stair is a level of life or a level of awakening. It's like you have gone through all of the levels, and now you're at this portal and you're ready to move on to the next world, but you're just waiting for the other person. And I'm almost seeing it as like a video game where like both players need to come and step on this tile, and then they'll be transported to the next world in the game. But like one of you, I think you got there first. It's like you need partnership, or you need community, or you need even a specific, like someone that you have a soul contract with to assist each other in this next phase of your life. And I think that's what this Six of Pentacles is talking about. And so it's almost like your spiritual team doesn't want you to lose hope that this person is, or people are coming. And so they're continuously sending you these synchronicities, almost like, just so you know, the plan is still on, or like we didn't forget about you, or we see you, we see your struggle, we see that you've been waiting and that you have to be patient. Yeah, so it could be, and maybe it's different for everyone who's watching this, but it could be one person or multiple people. It could be a specific person you're waiting for, or you just know that there's someone who's meant to come in. It could be romantic or platonic. Like, that is not really coming through, just that there is a union or a partnership that is meant to happen so that you can move on to this next stage of your life fully supported. And it's not to say that you can't go on alone, like that you're not capable of it, or that you couldn't find support elsewhere. But I do think it is kind of a part of your soul contract that preferably you would like to honor. It's like a significant part of your soul's mission. And so, yes, you know, if it comes down to it, I can move on to other things, or I can move on by myself. But we have this contract, and yeah, it's like your soul is committed, your soul is dedicated. So, you know, ideally they would like to honor this commitment. And so I feel like if you may feel like things are taking a long time and it's hard to be patient, but your higher self is, I think, committed to staying on this path. This is what it feels like. You may, with the moon, receive a lot of signs and synchronicities in dreams. I often see that with the moon. And this is a tough energy. Like this Piscean energy, this could also be 12th house energy. You could have 12th house placements, or your spiritual team is just saying that this energy is 12th housey in nature, because it's something that you can't really put your finger on. It's deep in your subconscious. It's hard to pinpoint what it is. It's hard to put it into language. So you could be feeling things that it's so hard to explain, or like when you try to explain it, you sound crazy, or maybe you can't even put a worldly definition on what you're feeling. You just know that what you're feeling is something important. You just know that what's to come is something important. You just know that this person is important. And it's like, I can't explain why. When I try to grasp at it, it's like smoke. I can't really hold on to it. Or it's like water. I can't really hold it in my hand. It slips away from me. And you may find that the more you try to chase down the meaning of something in your life, or try to define it in worldly terms, the more it escapes you. Or like when you look at it directly, it runs away. You may be experiencing psychic phenomena that kind of feels like that, or experiencing a soul connection that kind of feels like that. It's like the more I try to understand it, the more confused I get. And I think it's just the purpose of all of this will be revealed to you in time, but right now your spiritual team just wants you to stay committed and wants you to hold on, or is encouraging you to do that, like to honor the commitments that your soul made. We have the Seven of Swords here, and I feel like there may be, take this if it resonates, of course, because I can't really speak on how you feel. You will know that best. But it does give me the feeling of someone who's been waiting for a very long time for something that they desire so deeply in their soul. And I feel emotional when I'm talking about this. And then there's this more like rational, I guess, or practical part of them that says you should just move on. Like you should just move on to other things. But even if they tell themselves that deep down, it never really feels authentic. It just feels like something that their rational side thinks they should do, but is not something that will truly make them happy. It's like your soul is very certain of what they want to do, or of what they're meant to do, or of what they have committed to. And it's not to say that like, I'm going to do it at all costs, no matter what, but they really want to give it an honest try. Like, at least they can say they were committed. At least they can say they did everything that it took. And I feel like unless they can say they did everything it took and they gave it the best try that they could, it would just never feel right. Like, it would never feel right in your spirit to move on. And so this thing that the practical brain says, like, oh yeah, this is taking a little bit of time. Maybe we should just explore something else. Maybe we should just move on to other options. Maybe in the moment that feels like temporary relief, because waiting for the thing you really, really love, it can, it can hurt sometimes. It can be very emotional. But I feel like in the long run, it would never truly feel authentic. Like, your biggest dream and your biggest passion is always going to be calling back to you. It's like someone who, let's say someone wanted to be an artist, and that rational part of their brain is like, oh, this isn't really working out for us. Let's just go back to our old job, or, let's just get a regular job, whatever that means. But, kind of moving on from what they originally wanted to do. And maybe there's a part of them that tries to convince themselves, like, yeah, we made the right choice. We did the sensible thing. But there's always going to be that flame in their heart that because you can't just stop being an artist. You know what I mean? And so there's always going to be that part of them that feels like, I'm rejecting a big part of me by living this life. And like, this doesn't really feel authentic. So I just feel like your soul cannot give up on what they love, or whom they love, or where they love. And even though your rational mind might say that you should move on, I feel like that's something that could be quite difficult for you. Again, like, unless in some way you can really feel like, I tried everything, I did everything, I was committed, and I have no regrets. But I think your soul probably feels like it's too soon. It's too soon to move on. And so in this period where it's kind of tough on your human self, in this waiting energy, your spiritual team just wants to keep confirming to you, like, we're still here with you. We still see you. We're still in on this mission. If you are, we're still with you. Yeah, that's a beautiful message. So we have a couple more oracle decks to use. First, there's this one that arrived in the mail while I was filming, and so I just have to use it in today's reading. What else does group number 4 need to know? Would you be nervous performing for a galaxy you'd never see again? On this journey, you might have to do things that make you nervous. Yeah, you might have to do things that make you nervous, or that make you self-conscious, that are out of your comfort zone. An important lesson on this journey may be teaching your ego to not take itself so seriously, and to go back to prioritizing your passion and not letting worries of other people's perception of you prioritize you. Not prioritizing other people's perception of you such that it sabotages your ability to live in your passion. Sorry, I made that sentence very confusing. Another thing I get from this card is that a lot of the time people are not thinking about you as much as you think they are, and that's actually a very liberating thing. A lot of the times when we make mistakes, other people don't even notice or consider it a mistake. And I feel like this card is coming out to say that you really are your own toughest critic. I wonder if some of you, I don't know if this is going to resonate for everyone, but some of you might, after this lifetime, you might be done with Earth. And so it's like, you're never going to see these people again. Just go for it. In general, I feel like your spiritual team might be encouraging you to be in a more go for it kind of energy. You know, ask for what you want. The worst that could happen is that people say no. Put out the work. The worst that could happen is that people don't like it. And that's not the end of the world. Even if people did not like something you put out or thought it was weird or like, who cares? I feel like the liberation from other people's perception of you and other people's opinions is going to feel so good. And that's when you're really going to start living. But I get it though. Like, I'll literally be nervous about how, like, if I call a customer service number, I'll be like, I hope they didn't think I was weird. It's like, they literally don't know you. They don't care about you. They're just going through their day at work. They've spoken to like probably 50 other people today. They are not going to care that you stuttered on the phone call. You know, it's just, I feel like we just get so in our head, and other people are focused on their own life and worrying what they think about you, when the reality is that they probably don't think that much to begin with. It's only going to sabotage you from having fun and from expressing yourself passionately. We have still not failing enough. Yeah, so don't be afraid of failure. Don't be afraid of being messy, of making mistakes. You might hold yourself to a very high standard about how you need to be perceived, or again, like what order you need to achieve certain steps of your life in. You might really want it to be like under control. But it is very clear that your spiritual team is encouraging making a mess, making mistakes, giving yourself permission to not be perfect, and giving yourself permission to not have it figured out. I feel like maybe there's a lot of things in life that are unserious, but that you take quite seriously, which could be an anxiety thing. That tends to happen when you have anxiety, like everything is the end of the world. It could be if you grew up with a very strict upbringing or a very critical upbringing, that could be something that now in your adulthood, even it's hard to forgive yourself for even the smallest mistakes or for not doing something perfectly. But unlearning that is going to be a very liberating experience. And I say it's gonna be because I know that you are going to free yourself from those impossible, I'm hearing like some of you put suffocating standards on yourself, and it just kind of sucks all the fun out of life. It may even suck fun out of things that you love. Now we are going to get a spirit cat card for you. What spirit cat has a message for my group number 4s? So here is your cat. Magic Maker. Meet Lynx. She is a sorceress, a shaman, and a witch cat. She is the part of you that creates a magical brew of intention and action that results in manifestations beyond your wildest dreams. She can usher in deep healing and revolutionary transformations. Turn inward, connect to the powerful current of your life force, and conduct that energy into creations for the good of all. You have everything you need within you. Don't hold back. the world sees your magic. Oh, the world needs your magic, but also the world sees your magic. Claim your place at the table of dreamers and magic makers. Links will meet you there. And the camera wants to focus on this cup, which I really felt as a spirit guide, like pouring their magical energy into you and into your soul family. I also want to say with this, the letter M could be an important initial as well, like a first or last name or a place. And what else did I want to say? Oh, with this, claim your place at the table of dreamers and magic makers. It's like you deserve a seat at the table. Like one day you will sit at that table with all the people you looked up to and realize that you are equals. Okay, so my group number 4s, those are all the messages that we have for you today. So I'm going to end your reading here. Thank you so much for letting me do this reading for you. I hope you have a wonderful day or night whenever you're watching, and I wish you all the best. Please take good care of yourself, stay healthy. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you feel like doing that. If you enjoy my content and you'd like to find me elsewhere, I'm going to have linked down below my tarot reading Instagram, my personal Instagram, my Patreon, where you can watch tons of timeless, exclusive pick a card readings, just like this one, and you can also decide on topics for future readings. I will link my music channel, which includes the intro song of this video. That is an original song. I'll also have my latest release link down below, and finally my vlog channel and my merch, which features the floating temple that was at the start of this video. Thank you guys so much for supporting me, my channel, and anything I do. I really, really appreciate having you here, and I'm sending so much love to you, to your beautiful spiritual team, your beautiful soul family, your higher self, and all of your loved ones, both here on earth and in the other realms. And I will see you guys in the next one. Bye bye.